Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world and another episode in the development of my junk journal. So I promised that when I had a chance to play with my junk journal, I'd switch the camera on. And so we've made 5 lots of pages so far, and I've still got a bit more room left in there, so we're going to make another one today. And this is one inspired by a fellow Brit, Jez Carpenter of Nigeza Creates, and this is going to be a double diagonal pocket sheet page. So I've done a little bit of prep because this could take a bit of time. So I've got 2 pieces of my paper here, and I've trimmed it down to the size that I want my my finished page to be. So it's like 10.5 here by 8, and I've scored in the middle and folded them both in half. And then I've taken the one such sheet and I've folded the corner down so I have a triangle both sides. Okay, so basically I've just formed a square. So that will give me my first pocket there. Now, again, to save a little bit of time, I did do some cutting. So my papers, I chose to use these papers, which I've been in my stash forever. They're quite thin, and so they're not going to create a huge amount of bulk in my page. And then I've also got this, which is what do you call it? An electronic ephemera that I purchased and printed simply on copy paper. So it's going to be nice and light for not to sort of make my pages too thick and bulky. So the first thing I did was to take my first piece of paper, and if you watched my video the other day, I was really struggling to tear with a ruler. So I treated myself to a decal edged trimmer, which I've only had for a few days now, and I'm loving it. So I have literally just cut this piece, and this is just like about 1/4 of an inch smaller all the way round than each of my pages. And I'm gonna just put a little bit of ink on those edges. And I'm sure that there's some things I will try and rip that tear with a ruler as a guide, but maybe smaller pieces. I think it's as much to do with the strength in your hands as anything. So, and I think probably my engineering background means that there must be a tool. If there isn't a tool, there needs to be one. So there's my first bit, and we're just going to attach that to the one side here. And I'm using my solvent-based glue. This is called 3-in-1, and it doesn't make the pages soggy. The other glues are like water-based, and they can actually make your pages a bit soggy, which doesn't matter in the great scheme of things because it will dry out. But I quite like to be able to have that not soggy if I can at all help it. So just see if I've got any stray glue. So that's my 2 pages. So then I've got this piece here, which, as I say, I folded in half, and then I've turned those corners down, and they're going to go like this. And I'm going to be attaching this paper here onto it. So I need to make sure it's the right way up, I think. Yeah, I think that's got a little bit of a direction. So this here is 5 1/4, and it's, as I said, this is like 8. So this needs to be 5 1/4 by 8. So I did cut it right, but I want a bit of a border. So I'm going to take 1/4 inch off here. Well, I'm going to take less than 1/4 inch. I'm going to take what my sweet Aunt Dinah would have called a snodge. Technical term. So there, that's a snodge. So let's see what that does. So that just gives me a little bit of a border there, like that. And it goes up to the top, right. So now what I've got to do is I've got to fold that over. So what did I do? I had a couple of, there they are, these paper clips. So I want that to stay steady there and there. And I'm going to put another one in just to hold it in place. So depending on how long this video is, I'm going to just do one side, and then if I have time after to, if it's not too long, I will do the other side. Right. So this was a little technique that I learned from Jez to get a nice sharp crease where I want it to be. So that's going to go like that. Right. Now this already has some dark shading on it, so I'm not going to put any more there, but what I am going to do is I'm going to put some of my, I'm going to remove that just in case I have an accident with my glue. So I'm going to put some adhesive here. And at one side of my score line there, and making sure that everything is lined up. I'm going to tuck that like that. This bit will not be seen, so I'm not too troubled about it. And then, if all has worked, this should not have moved, and I can gosh. Now I have got a little bottle that I decanted some of this into, but it's too slow. Now we're just going to put a bead running down the other side of the score there. And then again, if everything is with us, that should lovely. Beautiful. Okay, so we can see, oh look, I put it on that side. That's okay, that's not wrong, not wrong at all. So we can see that we have got that. Right, so for our next pocket, I have cut another piece of paper, and this is 5¼ by 5¼ because 5¼ is the width I need, and I want a square because I'm going to be putting this piece there like that. And then I want another piece of my paper that is the same size, like that, because I'm going to stick that there, and that will give me pocket number 1. Let me move it down. I've moved up a bit, haven't I? Gives me pocket number 1 and pocket number 2, like that. So again, we'll get and do a little bit of colouring. Now I only really need colour, so what am I going to do that way? So I only need colour on one side. So I made a decision in an earlier video that I wouldn't use any tea or coffee dyed paper. I would use however it sort of came out of the packet, and then I would use my sort of inks and my decor edge trimmer to give me whatever I want, you know, any vintage in. Now I've got a little bit appearing. I don't want that little bit appearing. I'm going to have to take another smudge off of here, just the merest little bit. Can you see that's all I've taken off? So is that going to show? I just need to take a tiny bit off of this side now. And so we've been going for about 12 minutes. So I've got a little bit of a scaggy end there. So let's get rid of that. So the reason I'm using that extra piece of paper under there is that I don't think that this, I'm not sure that this is going to be sturdy enough for the pocket. So that's why I'm adding a bit of extra paper in there to just give it some more protection. Leastways, I don't think. What do you think? Do we need it or don't we need it? Do I think that it will be sturdy enough? Okay. Well, let's just give it a go. Or shall I put this in there? See, I don't want to take a chance because I don't think it's something I can make right if it doesn't work. So let's go do it. Let's do it to it. So we're going to get our glue and just run a bead of this adhesive. So, and I'm going to just run it to one side of my score line there. Just line everything up and fold that over. So that's the back attached. And now we go and do the front. I'm certainly getting to work out with this glue today. Needing a bit of extra impact, or an extra squeeze rather. And just bring that over. And I'm deliberately working it folded, because then it means that if I try to work this flat, when I come to bend it, it could cause the paper to wrinkle and crinkle and stuff like that. And so this will go there. And then when we do this one like that and have that paper, can you see that the diagonal, it's almost like a chevron that we're building here? It's really impressive. That will go there. So I'm guessing what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a bit of double-sided. I don't usually use this when I'm doing my junk journals, but listen to her when I'm doing my junk journals. This is only the second one I've ever made. But hopefully it's the second of many. And as I get more experienced and a bit more adventurous. So I'm just going to stick this piece down like that. Now that can then stick onto here. Right, so I'm going to put a bead of glue down there and along there. Ooh, look, it's kept traveling out while I've been. Eesh. Got myself in a bit of a mess there. Well, this is going to be well stuck, that's for sure. Now, I didn't want to use double-sided to stick this down. The reason I thought of that was that double-sided glue adhesive, it remains soft, and so if I then at a later stage go and put something in my pocket, it might stick to the thing I've shoved in there. So that's why I decided that I would not use adhesive, double-sided adhesive on this part. But boy, have I got a bit of a mess here. So let's take some of that adhesive away. This is just a little piece of kitchen paper towel. Yeah, I think the sticky's gone. So now I can go and I can use my double-sided again, because that is not going to, that's not going to have anything. I'm just sticking the pocket down now. So looking at my journal, I think that I have probably need one more set of pages to fill up. And so I'm going to be thinking about what I could do. And I've got some half sheets of paper that I wanted to use, and so maybe I'll look at maybe doing that. Okay, so now all I need to do is add some adhesive here and here. Right, thinking about it, I've probably done myself a bit of a disservice by sticking all this down together at the minute. But as you can see now, my 2 pieces of paper are now one. And so we've been going, what, about 20 minutes. So this piece is already stuck down. So let's just, well, quickly see if, I don't need that one, Cindy. I need this one. So that needs to be 5 1/4 by 8. So let's make this 8. Did I do all of this on this piece? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. So I need to, it's a bit, it doesn't cut beyond 6 inches on there. So I'm gonna have to do do this as an 8. So if I do it slightly longer, if I take that piece, I'm going to have to take that piece off. This didn't turn out as quick as I thought it would because I hadn't actually cut this the same size. So I said that had to be 8 1/4. So maybe not, maybe it's 8. Okay. I'm just going to take this off, and then I think I'm going to be in the right place. So if I do it like this, and then these 2 pieces kind of match. And I need to take a tiny bit off of that end. And I'll just stick this page down. Lovely. And then I'll show you the last little bit, but I won't finish it because otherwise we're going to be here all night. I just need to take a tiny little bit off the edge here. It's just a tiny little, tiny weeny bit too wide. Probably it's a snodge. It's a snodge too wide is what it is. There. I think I'm happy now. But you know, even if it is not quite right, if it's not exact, do you know, it doesn't matter. It's a junk journal. I'm using stuff that's been in my stash for a long time, and I'm finally making use of it. And to be honest with you, in some cases, I didn't even know that I still had it. You know, this neutral paper here, I had no idea I had that. None whatsoever. It was only when I was sorting through some stuff that I found it. And this paper, this paper, I think I said, maybe I didn't, but at the beginning of the video, I think I said that I had bought this paper was A4. I trimmed it down. This is paper I bought with me when I came to the United States in 2001. And I guess that's when I learnt, or I realized, that here in the States, we use different paper, size papers, and that I never used it. But I obviously tucked it away. For 23 years, I tucked it away. And if that isn't junk, I don't know what is. So now I have a use for it, because I can just trim it down and so this was literally tucked away in a cupboard. So I would urge you to actually go and look in a cupboard and say, when was the last time I looked in this cupboard? Now, you may have looked in the cupboard and glanced and just got something out of it. But when did you really go in there and dig around and find what else is living in there? Because you might be lucky and you might find some interesting things that you can use for your crafting. Right, so let's just do this last little bit, and I think then we will call it a day. Right, so there we have like that, and then this piece will go like that. And there you have a double diagonal pocket page for your, did I cut an extra piece for there? Probably not. So I've still got to do that little bit. But I'm just going to do this exactly the same as I did the other side. And then I'm not going to decorate up the outside pages just yet, because what I want to do is to see how everything will fit in together in my journal. So I might have, maybe I'll do like this. See, I've got some bits of ephemera that I've pulled together that I'm going to think about using. Like that, and maybe that will go like that, or maybe I've got this, because this is my envelope, my window envelope page. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do this, and then that actually goes quite nicely with that, and then maybe, and then there's that, and then maybe I can add some of the colors, the other colors, like this lovely pale blue here. I can add those with clusters or something. I can do something like that. So there we are. There is our double page, double pocket, double diagonal pocket inspiration courtesy of Jez. All right, well, I do hope you've enjoyed this one. I certainly enjoyed working along, you keeping me company, and I'd like to thank you for choosing to spend a bit of time with me. And if you've enjoyed the video, perhaps you'll go ahead, give me a thumbs up, and I'll be back another time with what I think will be my last 2 pages, and then we can start looking at decorating and binding and those good things. Okay, thank you, and bye-bye for now.